So in case you didn't know, Rainbow Six Siege added the Outbreak mode, where you fight off hordes of alien zombies in an attempt to complete certain objectives and not die. That's the big one, not dying. When I first hopped into this mode, I expected very little, and I was actually met with a almost startling amount of production quality. From newly recorded voice lines for all of the operators that are available to play as, unique visuals and areas, cutscenes. It's overall much more than what I expected. Now this video kind of ties in with my video where I did some more complaining, right? That's what my channel should be called, right? The One Complain. But I did some complaining about timed events and how they just steal playtime from other games without adding anything extremely substantial to the game that is running the event. My idea was basically that the money that they put into making these timed events could go into making some substantial content that lasts for a long time. Even though I despise the map itself, when Call of Duty World War II did its new St. Paddy's Day themed timed event, they did give everyone a free map that will be in the game forever. As much as I hate the map, at least they gave people something that'll be in the game for a long time. Now when it comes to the Outbreak mode in Rainbow Six Siege, the production quality and the overall quality of the mode, as much as it's not really anything new, and we've seen it before, if you played video games before, you've seen this mode before in different ways. The fact that it's so well done, in my opinion, is a bad thing? Hear me out. Rainbow Six Siege is not a single player game, it is a competitive multiplayer game. And it kind of bothers me that all of this time and money went into this really good mode that's not even gonna stay around. It wasn't released around Halloween or around October where this kind of mode would make sense. And in my opinion, this could have been a whole new multiplayer map. They could have done 2 attackers and 2 defenders in one big season, which would have been insane. Maybe overhauling the meta that much with one update's a bad thing, but anyway. Maybe I'm pessimistic, and for the most part I do like the Outbreak mode. I'm just not that into the Outbreak mode. It's serviceable, but it's a lot of money to put into something that's temporary and just merely serviceable. When I first heard about a zombie Outbreak mode and the fact that it was going to be limited, I just kind of pictured us defending maps like House or Oregon against hordes of the undead. That's what I pictured it as. Not a mode with cutscenes and voice acting and whole new areas and just a ton of new enemy types. I did not expect this at all. But let me paint you an analogy as to why I'm not a huge fan of this and why I kind of see it as a bad thing. Imagine you went to a steakhouse and you ordered a steak and they brought it to you, but the steak is really small and isn't that good, and they gave you this really big, tasty serving of mashed potatoes and steamed vegetables. They're really good steamed vegetables, and they're really, really good mashed potatoes. They're addicting. But you went there for the steak. You wanted steak. You didn't go to a mashed potato house, you went to a steakhouse. So, in case you didn't realize, the steak represents Rainbow Six Siege's competitive multiplayer, and the mashed potatoes, though good and delicious, are not what you're there for. So I feel like the Outbreak mode is a big, heaping pile of delicious mashed potatoes and steamed vegetables, and it's delicious, but it's not what you're there for. And it's not even going to last. If this Outbreak mode was a permanent addition to the game and they kept adding to it, so you had the multiplayer and then this Outbreak mode and then of course Terrorist Hunt to warm up your aim, I feel like that would be really cool. Not as cool as like an actual campaign for each operator, each base operator, so you get some like backstory on them and stuff. I think that would have been a lot cooler. Very fan servicey, but still really cool. But overall, that's not why I play Rainbow Six Siege. I don't play it for a single player campaign or horde mode. So if you compare this to Titanfall 2's Frontier Defense mode that they added, and I don't have gameplay of this unfortunately, and I'm sorry, but they basically added a tower defense horde mode into Titanfall 2. But you just play on the basic multiplayer maps, the AI is very basic and most likely just directly ripped from the campaign. So now that game has a campaign, multiplayer, and horde defense mode. I don't know what you'd call it. I like to call it tower defense, but whatever. The reason I bring it up is because Titanfall 2 used the assets from the campaign and the multiplayer maps and put together a mode with both of those things, rounding out Titanfall 2 with 3 modes: horde defense, multiplayer, and campaign. Rainbow Six Siege, however, is a multiplayer competitive shooter that added this crazy zombie horde mode, and all of the money and time could have gone to something else. So I'm basically reiterating what I already said, and I don't know what else it could have been. It could have been a better multiplayer map. It could have been more operators. I would have preferred getting 2 attack operators and 2 defense operators instead of 2 attack operators, yacht being added back into rotation, and a zombie horde mode. On top of that, we don't have the map changes on Rainbow Six Siege yet, which is kind of annoying to me. They have some really good changes coming to some of the maps. They call them map buffs, I think. And they're adding these, but they're not in yet. I would have much rather had those in sooner than this Outbreak mode. Admittedly, the Outbreak mode is fun, but it's temporary, so it's not going to be a lasting addition to the game, and it doesn't actually add anything to the reason I visit Rainbow Six Siege. Again, Rainbow Six Siege multiplayer, competitive multiplayer, is the steak at the steakhouse. I have mashed potatoes when I really wanted a good steak. Even if the mashed potatoes are good, it's not what I'm there for. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below, and even if you disagree with me, can you try to come up with something you would have rather, if you were in their shoes, what would you have rather spent that budget on, the Outbreak budget on, that would really impact the game long term and impact the thing in the game that everybody plays it for, the competitive multiplayer? Let me know down in the comment section below, and I would love to hear from you guys. And anyway, I'll see you when I see ya. I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to see this video as just purely bitching, and it's really not. So fuck off. Fuck all you haters. Fuck all you haters. I make more money in a second than a homeless man. So fuck you, and I'm gonna go have some tacos. See you guys later.